Good morning. I am Dr. Wilson Paul, Associate Professor, Department of Corporate Executiveship of KCS Kasaragod College of Arts and Science. Now, let us see sum number 4. The sum number 4 is nothing but for Dandapani Company Limited. It furnishes you the balance sheet. It gives you the balance sheet for 2 years, that is 1997 and 1998. Okay. For 1997, the list of assets and liabilities are there. For 1998, the list of assets and liabilities are there. Okay, now we are going to prepare a common size balance sheet. How we are going to prepare the common size balance sheet? Let us go to the next slide. Now the answer for this, sum number 4. First, you are going to do the common size, which means you are going to take one item as a common item. Okay, in the previous case, when you did the income statement, common size income statement, we took sales as a common item. In the previous sum, in the previous class, when you did the common size income statement, we took the sales as a common item and we divided everything by sales into 100. We got the percentage. Here we will take the balance sheet total as a common factor. The balance sheet total. Okay, we know the balance sheet total is 10 lakh for 1997 and 14 lakh for 15 lakh for 1997 and 20 lakh for 1998. Okay, so this 15 lakh will be my common value. Okay, so I'll divide every item by 15 lakh into 100. For example, I'll start with cash at bank. 1 lakh divided by 15 lakh into 100 will give me 6.67 for 1997. The same way for 1997 debtors is 2 lakh. So 2 lakh by 15 lakh into 100 will give me 13.33%. The same way for 1997 the stock, the current asset stock is 2 lakh. So again 2 lakh by 15 lakh into 100, the same percentage, 13.33. Is it clear? So this is how the sum goes. The next way, the total I got for 5 lakh. Okay, again I'll divide 5 lakh by 15 lakh into 100 will give me 33.33%. Is it clear? The same way I do fixed assets. Building for 1987 is 4 lakh. 4 lakh divided by 15 lakh into 100, it is 26.67%. Then machinery, 6 lakh by 15 lakh into 100, 40%. Okay, now I got the total separately for current asset and total separately for current fixed liability, fixed assets. Okay, so which will be my current asset total is named as A, my fixed asset total is named as B. A plus B will give me my total assets, A plus B, that is 15 lakh. Okay, okay, so that 15 lakh by 15 lakh into 100 will give me 100. Is it clear? The same way I do for 1998 also. Now for the 1998 the total is changed to 20 lakh. Okay, I'll divide everything by 20 lakh into 100. Okay, for example, the first item is cash in bank, 50,000 by 20 lakh into 100. Excuse me, will give me 2.5%. Is it clear? Any doubt? The same way for debtors for 1998, 2 lakh 50,000 divided by 20 lakh into 100 will give me 12.5%. Is it clear? But in the sum, they didn't give you fixed assets separately, current assets separately. We have to identify. We have to identify which are fixed assets and take them total separately. We have to identify which are current fixed assets separately and do the total separately. Which is current assets separately. Okay. So this is how you do the asset side. The same way I have to do the liability side. I'll do the next page now. In your liability side, okay, in your liability side, it has to be, there are 3 headings are there. One is current liability, then long-term liability, and capital and reserve, that is shareholders fund. The another name for capital and reserve is shareholders fund. Is that clear? Okay, now let us see. Again the same way here as we did in assets. We have to take the total. What is the total here? For 1997, 15 lakh. So every item, whatever that is there in current liability, the current liability first item is creditors. 3 lakh by 15 lakh into 100 is 20%. Is it clear? The same way, 1 lakh by 15 lakh into 100, 6.67%. Again tax payable for 1997, 1 lakh by 15 lakh into 100. Okay, now the total is 5 lakh. 5 lakh by 15 lakh into 100. 33.33 or 33.34, we can read whatever it is. Okay, the same way we do for the long-term liability, that is debentures. 2 lakh by 15 lakh into 100. It is nothing but 13.33. The total of that is 2 lakh again. 2 lakh by 15 lakh into 100 is the same total, 13.33. Then capital and reserves, that is nothing but shareholders fund. Under that you have share capital and reserves together. Okay, now we'll do separately. Share capital by 15 lakh into 100. 2 lakh by 15 lakh into 100 is 13.33. Then reserves 6 lakh. 6 lakh by 15 lakh into 100, it is 40%. Okay, now the total for shareholders fund is 8 lakh. The 8 lakh by 15 lakh and 100 will give me 53.33%. Okay, you got it? Very easy to understand. Same way we do for 1998 also. Okay, so that's how we do your common size balance sheet. Is it clear? Any doubt? Now we'll go to the next sum. Sum 5. The sum number 5, and this is the last method here. Okay, last method is nothing but trend percentage. Read the sum. From the following balance sheet extracts, compute the trend percentage, and you may take 1990 as base year. Okay, I hope you are done statistics in your second year, where you did your trend percentage. You remember that? Trend percent, taking 1 year as base year and dividing everything by the base year into 100 will give you the percentage. Is it clear? In the same way, the problem says you have to take 1990 as base year. Is it clear? We'll go to the next slide and see how the answer is done. Okay. Now, there are two columns here. You can see the year, but that is the particulars, year end in rupees in thousand, then trend percentage is taking base year as 1990. Okay, three columns are the particulars, year end, then trend percentage. In the particulars and the year end, the first two columns is nothing but the sum. I have repeated everything, but in a fixed form. I've taken same way. I've taken the current asset separately, then current liability separately. The current asset minus current liability will give me called as working capital. When I minus the current asset, when I minus the current liability from current asset, I'll get working capital. Is it clear? Working capital formula is nothing but current asset minus my current liability. That is what is given here. Okay. The first half of the page will be left hand side will be your sum as it is given as the sum. I've written there, everything is there. Then I'm going to take 1990 as a base year. The second half of the sum, that's the right hand side. 1990 as a base year, which means for everything, for example, stock, how I'm going to do is 150 by 150 into 100. Is it clear? In the sum, the value is given as 1,50,000. Okay, 1,50,000. So I have written everything in thousand. Therefore, it's given a heading here. Year end rupees in thousands, which means I can avoid the zeros. If I'm going to write all the three zeros here, 1,50,000 fully, there won't be space for me to do the sum. Therefore, I've written as in thousands, which means I can cut 3 zeros for all the items throughout the sum. Is that clear? Therefore, 150 by 150 into 100 will give me how much? 100. The same with debtors. 140 for 1990 I'm talking about. 140 by 140 into 100, how much it is? 100. Then cash, 60 divided by same amount, 60, because 1990 is a base year, isn't it? The problem asks you to take 1990 as a base year. 60 by 60 into 100, 100. Is it clear? Then I'll go to the 1991 current asset, 170. That stock is 170. Okay. Now 170 divided by 150, because 1990 is a base, no? So I'll divide everything by 150. The 1990 column. Is it clear? So 170 by 150 into 100 will give me how much? The trend for 1991 will be in stock will be 113%. Is it clear? Then the stock for 1992 is 190. Again, I'll do 190 by 150 into 100. What is the trend will be 127%. In the same way, the stock for 1993 is how much? 230. So 230 divided by 150, the 1990 column into 100. How much it is? The trend percentage is 153%. That's the increase of 153%. Is it clear? Which means from 150 it has gone to 230. The same way. 1994, 220. Okay. So 220 by 150 into 100 is 147%. Then next, 1995, 200. 200 by 150 into 100 was 133%. The same way, everything you do. So datas also. So which means for datas you take 140 as a base. So you divide everything by 140, 120 by 140, 80 by 140, 90 by 140. I'm talking about the datas only. The datas row. Okay. I'm talking about the datas row. 120 by 140 into 100. 80 by 140 into 100. 90 by 140 into 100. 100 by 140 into 100. 100 by 140 into 100. Is it clear? So this is how you do your trend percentage. Okay. The total also 350 by 340 by first in the first row, the first column 350 by 350 into 100 is 100. The second one 340 by 350 into 100 is 97. Then 320 by 350 into 100 91. Then 380 by 350 into 100 109. Is it clear? So this is how you do your even the liabilities. So for the 1990 column, liability is 300. So 300 will be the base now. So 300 by 300 into 100 is 100. The trend percentage. The next year is 320. So 320 by 300 into 100 is 107. Then 300 by 300 into 100 again 100. Then 280 by 300 into 100 93. Then 240 by 300 into 100 is 80. Then 200 by 300 into 100 is 67%. Okay. Now the total A, the current asset minus my current liability, that is 350 minus 300 is 50. The same way, 50 by 50 into 100 is 100. The second 1991 column, the balance current working capital is 20. So 20 by 50 into 100. Then 20 by 50 into 100 again. Then 100 by 50 into 100 is 200. Then 170 by 50 into 100, 340. Then 200 by 150 into 100 is 400. Is it clear? So this is how you do your trend percentage analysis. Very easy now. Okay, we'll go to the next slide now. And this will be the end of this trend percentage, end of this tool actually. Financial statement analysis tool. This is the end of this sum. These are 4 sums are there. Is it clear? And this is the 5th sum we did. Now we'll go to the next chapter. Ratio analysis. We'll give an introduction in this class and we'll do sums in the next class. Okay, I'll give the introduction for this in this class. What do you mean by ratio? Ratio analysis is an interpretation of financial statement. Financial statement is what? The P&L as well as the balance sheet together is called financial statement. With the help of ratios is termed as ratio analysis. Okay. In other words, the ratio is nothing but a mathematical relationship between two items expressed in quantitative form. Okay. In other words, ratio can be defined as there is a relationship expressed in quantitative term between figures which have cause and effects relationship or which are connected with each other in some manner or the other. Is it clear? So we're going to compare two related items. Okay. Then another thing, an accounting ratio can be defined as quantitative relationship between two or more items of the financial statements connected with each other. Arithmetical ratio is a comparison of numerator divided by denominator. In other words, you're going to do numerator by denominator. Okay, you're going to do division work. Next, what is the essence of this? The essence of ratio is putting together two figures to study the relationship. Okay, the study is in the form of analysis, interpretation, expression of all the ramifications of the relationship. Okay, now we'll see what are the ways the ratios are classified. First of all, the ratios are classified in 4 ways. The ratios are classified in 4 ways based on statement, classification by users, classification by relative importance, classification by purpose or function. Okay, but out of this, the last one, the classification by purpose of function, is more important. I will start from that first. Okay, the classification by purpose or function is the more important one. We'll start from that first. Classification by purpose of function is again divided in 4 ways. One is profitability ratio, then turnover ratio, then financial ratio. Okay. Sorry, it is in 3 ways: profitability, turnover, and financial ratios. Financial ratio is subdivided into short-term solvency and long-term solvency again. Okay, and now of these 3, we are going to see the turnover ratio first. Okay, the turnover ratio have 3 subdivisions in that. Sorry, 5 subdivisions in that. One is stock turnover ratio. The second is stock turnover debtors turnover ratio. The third one is creditors turnover ratio. The fourth one is working capital turnover ratio. The fifth one is fixed asset turnover ratio. There are 5 ratios are there in profitability and turnover ratios. Okay, not profitability, in turnover ratio. The formulas and details will be given in the next class. Thank you.